Hi, this is Teresa Sincata, and welcome to set 4 of my video book critiques. For this critique, I am featuring The Hello Goodbye Window by Norton Juster. Its genre is realistic fiction and picture book. Its grade levels is preschool through second, although older students will definitely love it too because I did, and it has won the Caldecott Award. The Hello Goodbye Window is a story about a little girl who goes to visit her grandparents every day. They have a special window in their kitchen called the Hello Goodbye Window. Throughout the story, she describes what her and her grandparents do while she is there. Most of the things that they do revolve around the window that they have. Things like looking at the stars, or staring at the reflection, or seeing Grandma or Grandpa through the window. It is a lovely story that made me very nostalgic and miss my family because of how beautifully it portrays the family of the little girl. I would definitely suggest this book to anyone, not just little kids. I have come up with 2 lessons for this book. The first one would be for a computer science class. I have this lesson geared towards a 9th grade classroom because of its difficulty. So first, the class will read the Hello Goodbye Window, and I really hope that they enjoy it like I did. Then they will discuss sequences and how one thing happens after the other in the story. In the story, the little girl describes what they do, and it is a sequence of events. She'll say, first I do this, then I do this, next we do this. And so in class, they will discuss what sequence of events is and how one thing always happens after the other. This will lead into a discussion about coding and how with coding you have to do one thing before the other and no one thing can be out of place. So they will go to this website, which is The Hour of Code, and play one of these coding games. It's really cool because these coding games are geared at different grades. So this one is for 2nd grade and older, same with that one. But this one over here is for 9th and older, so they could do some of the harder ones. And these are coding games that just kind of get you into the feel of what coding actually is. I really love the Hour of Code website because it's very easy to use, especially to figure out where you want to go. Like quickly and easily, you could just click on grades 9+ to get the harder ones for them to code. After they look at this website and play around with the games, they will then choose some coding to do. After that, the students will go to Khan Academy and use their code program to create their own project. So this is Khan Academy's Hour of Code, which is really easy. They can just press start coding now, or they can jump down to here and just do drawing or web pages. They can do whatever they want. I have an example of some coding that I did. Through Khan Academy's program for coding, I was able to make a waving snowman. The second lesson plan that I came up with has to do with social studies. It would be to talk about different families and how families differ depending on the student. So first, the students will read the Hello Goodbye Window, and next, they will discuss what their family is like with each other. This will lead into a discussion of how families differ now from earlier times in history. So we will talk about what families were like in the 1800s or the 1600s or in the times before that. Then they will use Canva to create a family tree. Canva is really easy to use. I love to use it for my lessons because it's extremely easy to use and super fun for the kids too. So I found a specific area where they could just create family trees on Canva. So the students will then share their family's trees with each other and compare and contrast their families with their peers. This is an example of a family tree that I made. So some other texts that I read were Stregonona by Tomie dePaulo, which is a thrilling tale about an old kind witch and her helper Big Anthony. One day, Stregonona goes on a trip and Big Anthony tries one of her spells, making pasta cover the entire town with no signs of stopping. Also, Officer Buckle and Gloria, which is a story about a town that needs lots of rules, and Officer Buckle puts on presentations to tell them these rules, but people fall asleep, so he brings his dog Gloria to the presentations with him, and Gloria does tricks and keeps them awake. Next, we have The Day the Crayons Quit, which was a hilarious story about a boy's crayons that all quit their jobs. They each write letters to Duncan, which is the boy, explaining why they are quitting. Next, we have I Want My Hat Back by John Clayson, which literally made me die because it was so funny. I thought it was extremely clever. It was about a bear who lost his hat and is asking all the mammals if they have seen it anywhere. Next, we have The Wall Growing Up Behind the Iron Curtain by Peter Siss, which is an autobiography that shows what life was like for a child, who is Peter, growing up and living on the communist side of the Iron Curtain. And then we have Shadow, which is an African folklore about the shadow and its attributes. And the story was written by Marcia Brown after she visited Africa. And last we have Waiting, which is about toys that sit on a windowsill, waiting for weather patterns that will make them happy. The biggest thing that happens to them is that a cat has kittens and they all live happily ever after together. Thank you for joining me. See you at my next book critique.